Hello, everyone, and good evening. Wednesday, September the 12th. It's the 12th, that's right. I almost forgot the date. Another edition of Spotlight Interview. We're on episode 3, and we have Katie Thorndike, formerly Katie Smilowski. She was on Instagram for a while, and we're going to wait for Katie to join in here. I know she knows it's 9 o'clock. There she is. So she's joined in. Again, Spotlight Interview. We're going around Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, finding people who have both accounts. And we really want to spotlight and showcase those people because I really find them interesting. Who am I to say if they are? But anyway, we're going to get Katie in here in a second. I'm just going to wave to a couple people. I've got my trusty pen with a little iPad thing, so it works really well. Okay, so let me get Katie in here. And we're going to get this kicked off here. I won't invite their guy. Hopefully he's not in the house, but we're going to get Katie in here and we'll get started. Connecting. There is Katie. Hi, how are you, Katie?
Good, how are you?
Good. My head took up like that whole thing. I better watch out for the glare. Put your sunglasses on.
Okay.
All right. Is Adam in the house? I need to know.
Yes, but he's downstairs.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Good. Adam, you stay downstairs. Okay, so everyone, this is Katie Thorndike. Katie, thank you for being on, I guess what we're calling a show now. Someone told me last week we're calling it a show. So welcome to episode 3 of Spotlight Interview.
Thank you. Good to be here.
You are welcome to be on board. So I'm going to do this interview kind of like Pulp Fiction. So we're going to kind of start now, go to the past, and work our way back to the present. So real quick, tell us what you're doing right now with your career.
So a few different things. I am copywriting. I am an academic proofreader, and I am also a Bar 3 fitness instructor.
Okay. I knew 2 out of the 3. I think I knew the 3rd. I just didn't know exactly what it was, so that's great. Let's go. Tell me about, where were you born? I know your maiden name is Smilowski. I can guess what ethnic background it is, but I'm not going to. So, any siblings? Tell me about Katie growing up.
So born just outside of Toronto in Richmond Hill, 2 younger brothers. The name is actually Czechoslovakian, but my family is German heritage. One side's German, one side's Canadian. Sort of normal suburban background. Oh,
okay.
I think my internet is going.
You're good. You're fine.
Oh,
I can hear you.
Okay. All right.
Good. Oh, you left. This happened last week. When too many people join in, it goes a little crazy. So we'll get her back in here. No worries. The show's getting popular. So more people are joining in. So this is super. So we're waiting for Katie to get in here. And she will continue to tell us about her suburban life, where she grew up, things she did. Instagram Live, you got to fix your bandwidth, server space, whatever you want to call it. Tracy, hey Tracy, you're in for another week. Appreciate you joining in. We're waiting for Katie here to get in. My bad. I'm going to cancel, and I'm going to try to get her in here again. There's Katie. Let's see if that works. Again, we've got Katie Thorndike. Again, technical difficulties. I'm going to go with it's not our internet. I believe it has to do with the number of people joining in. So we got lots of people, and that's great. Don't leave. Hi, Tracy. Hi, Beck. Hi, Miss KJR. Miss K Jr., maybe? Let's see if Katie can get in here. Apologize for these delays. So far we've learned Katie is a bar instructor, copywriter, academic proofreader. We're going to go on that a little bit later. And she was born in Richmond Hill, 2 younger brothers, and led sort of a normal life. But I know it's not normal, and we're gonna get her back in here real quick and see what's going on. Waiting for Katie. This is called hey. Yeah.
Sorry about that.
I'm telling you.
Fixed it.
Yeah, it happens when lots of people. So we got lots of people joining in. So we got you back. I just caught them up. Bar instructor, copywriter, academic proofreader. Grew up in sort of Richmond Hill. 2 younger brothers. Real quick on that before you tell me about were you a mean older sister or were you a nice older sister?
I mean, you'd have to ask them. I was probably like half and half, a little bit of the like half parent, half sibling, and a little bit of the like I mean, my middle brother and I were like super close in age, so we were really
Yeah.
good friends. But my youngest brother was 5 years younger,
Okay.
so like it's pretty tough when you're
Yeah.
like that separate. So probably he would have a different story.
Yeah, you're 17, 18. He's just 10, 11. So probably a little pipsqueak. You don't like him. I get it.
Yeah.
And so you said you're born, grew up in Richmond Hill. Any sports? I know a little bit about you. So any motorsports growing up?
Yeah. So the joke in my family though is that I tried every sport. I tried soccer, baseball, you name it. Sucked at every sport that
Right.
involved teamwork.
Yep.
And then my parents are like, well, let's throw the kids in racing and see if they do well on an individual basis. And we all did.
Yep.
So from the time I was 12, basically until I was about 20, I raced karts with my brothers almost every weekend when we were growing up.
Okay, cool. Now it's lagging out a bit, but let's just stay tight. Try not to get disconnected. So you're growing up in racing. So this next question, I've kind of figured out the answer. So, and I'm not going to swear like I swore earlier, but I am just jealous because of your achievements here. So tell me what you took in university, where you took it. You have to tell me where you took it, and just go in the gist of how long that stuff took you.
So I started out my undergrad. I did mechanical engineering at
Yep.
Queen's University in Kingston. Loved those 4 years living at Queen's. And
Yep.
then because I grew up racing, I thought, okay, how am I going to combine engineering and motorsport?
Right.
And the only place that I could do that, I always knew I would go to grad school because I'm like such an academic.
Yep.
Was in England.
Sure.
So all the Formula One teams
I had
are
to.
in England.
Yep.
And so I just ended up Googling, okay, where do I study motorsport engineering? And I applied to a bunch of different schools, ended up going to 2 of those schools in the UK.
Yep.
I went to Oxford Brookes, did a master's in motorsport engineering.
Yep.
And then I went to Southampton and I did a master's in race car aerodynamics.
Yeah, and I got to tell you, I know Oxford's a really good school, so that's how I know you're, whether you say it or not, I know you're really smart. I would consider you a genius. So, so mechanical engineering. Sorry, what did you say? What kind of engineering degree? Mechanical engineering.
Yeah, mechanical. Yeah.
And so, how do you go from mechanical engineering? Well, let's get into that a little later. I'll ask that question later. Let's skip ahead, and this is one of the serious questions I ask all the people that come on the show. Are there any defining moments in your life that make you Katie, that you're willing to share? Right, PG-13, and I'm not trying to pry anything out of you, but if there's any defining moments that you can think of, what will one of those be?
Yeah, I think there's probably 2 of them. One was when I was doing my undergrad, and I got really, really sick in my 3rd year.
Okay.
So I had to learn how to come at things in a totally different way, because if I kept sort of pushing as hard as I was before,
Yep.
which is what got me to where I was, I would constantly be ill.
Okay.
So I learned how to live with a chronic disease. I learned what it meant to actually say the words, I have a disease, which felt
Yep.
very strange for a 20-year-old.
Yep.
And so that kind of taught me, not only does your health have to come before all of these achievements that you want to have, but that taking care of yourself, taking care of myself, needed to be a bigger part of my life.
Yep.
And so that kind of carried with me. I still struggle with that on a daily basis. And the second defining moment was probably a few years ago when I sort of cut off a bunch of relationships in my
Yep.
life.
Yep.
So I ended up not speaking to a lot of family members because that was sort of keeping me in this little bubble that wasn't healthy, but it also wasn't letting me grow.
Yep.
And ever since I sort of got rid of those relationships and embraced all the ones that were just truly unconditional, you can do anything, loving and caring, that's when I transitioned basically a ton of my life so that I could do what I'm doing now.
Yeah. Hey, I find it amazing. I heard someone say earlier today about surrounding yourself with people who are optimistic versus pessimistic. It really does something for your self-confidence, right? Self-confidence is all about being around people who are positive rather than negative Nancy's, so to speak, right? So that's interesting. And I mean, that's, it's amazing that sometimes in life we have to do these things, but again, defining moments really make us who we are. What motivates Katie every day?
Every day. I think what motivates me, especially now, is that you only have so much time and you really don't know what life is going to throw at you. So no matter where you are, no matter what job you have, who you're with, it's to actually just embrace the amazing things that are in front of you. So maybe you're at a mundane job, or maybe today's tasks don't seem super exciting, but at the end of the day, you have those tasks. You live in a beautiful house. We live in an amazing country. Like, just be happy and grateful for all the time that we do have.
We're not hiding from bombs and gunfire and death and genocide, right? Those are things that recently I've learned about, and you kind of, I read the book Sapiens, and it talks about all these different things, right? And so, yeah, that's a great point. Now, this is a new question this week, so if you've watched in the previous weeks, this question's never been asked before. Sorry, Jason. Sorry, Ian. What are you obsessed with right now? And it can be completely corny and wacky or serious. So what are you obsessed with?
I mean, like, I'm constantly obsessed with many, many things, but I think you can always tell based on my Amazon history what I am currently most obsessed with.
Yeah. Okay.
So it varies from week to week, but I'd say right now I'm obsessed with Stoicism.
Okay.
So I've been reading a ton of it. I've got a little book that you read a tiny little bit of Epictetus or Marcus Aurelius or whatever every morning.
Yep.
And it's just, I love reading those little messages of embrace what you can control, let go of what you can't, and just sort of continuing to come back to these, goes back to positivity, right? Like getting your mind frame set for the day. And I just love having something that's nonfiction, positive, getting me in the right direction.
Yeah. And I always say this, what's funny about that, that's just not the wrong thing to say, but what's interesting about that is, I would hear that from you 15 years ago, and I might giggle and chuckle and go, whatever. But what you realize then is, it's like parenting. Whatever works for you, works for you. And whatever works for you to make you a better person. I know I made a post that talked about judge people by their actions only and nothing else, right? So that positivity is really good. And it's nice that, you have something that you can do that you're obsessed with, and it's really helping you grow as a person. I already asked you that question. So you're a bar instructor, copywriting, and I almost said aerodynamics proofreader, academic proofreader. So tell me about, bar instructor, is that a yoga instructor?
It's close.
Okay.
So basically bar is, especially the type that I do, bar 3.
Yep.
It combines yoga, Pilates, and the ballet bar. So if you ever go into a studio and you see the bar that's kind of around the studio, it basically combines big movements, like big yoga flowy movements, with smaller, harder, kind of muscle burning type movements. But the magic, the reason that we all love it, is because it's set to music.
Okay.
So you are in a community, there's a bunch of people in the class, but the music is really what powers, I think, that whole vibe and feeling and getting people obsessed with doing these certain type of workout. Okay. But it's also one of the most safe for your body. It's very low impact. It means it's super accessible for lots of different people, but I tried it was last fall, and was just so in love with it, and then so went down the route of becoming an instructor. So
where do you teach that, or where do you instruct that?
Downtown Toronto. So I teach mostly in Leslieville, but there's also a studio on King Street that I'll be at too.
What are the two studio names?
So it's Bar 3 Toronto, which you can find on Instagram.
Okay.
And they're both under the same name. But King Street, right near TIFF, and then Leslieville, sort of Queen and Greenwood area.
So you're not going to the TIFF one right now because of the traffic, right?
That is correct.
Right. Okay, and so copywriting, do you work for a company? Or do you work for yourself? Okay, all right. So tell me about the copywriting. Because I don't even know. Copywriting to me is write me an advertisement. That's all I know, but I don't. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. Tell me about your copywriting stuff.
Copywriting is so different, and to be honest, I'm still a rookie, right? So I'm learning as I go. I'm working with this amazing group of people at a firm called Tangible Words. It's a Canadian copywriting firm, which is also fantastic. Everybody works remotely. We work on Asana online, so that's how we communicate.
Okay, cool.
But copywriting now is so much different than it was even a couple years ago. So it's more attraction-based marketing. It's more writing blog posts and having social media, campaigns and platforms in place so that you're providing information to the people that you want to eventually sell to, but you actually want to be valuable to them even before you sell them something. So it's more about learning how to craft useful content for the people that you'll eventually do business with. So it's helping these clients, that it could be anybody, that we're gonna have a content strategy, or maybe it's a social media campaign, or maybe it's just creating a blog for business, and teaching those customers why that's valuable, putting those blog posts together or helping them put them together, and showing them that actually sales based on attraction is so much better for every party involved.
Yeah, I have a process that I like to call, or a strategy, and I think of farmers, right? So you plant the seed, you cultivate it, you harvest. So if you're not planting seeds and cultivating, you can't harvest the full crop. You can still get a couple, but it feels like you're filling the pipeline early to harvest later type of thing. So so are clients reaching out to a company and you work for the company, or is this something you do on your own time?
It's kind of interesting because so it's people reach out to the company, and then the company divvies up,
outsources type of thing.
But basically, like, we're not employees, so we're all freelance. So in a sense, it's your own business. You sort of dictate how many hours you have available, and then you would bill the company for those hours, which honestly sets up for such an empowering, productive workforce. It's been really inspiring.
Is there a specific genre? So what type of copywriting do you prefer, or do you excel at? For me, it would be sports and human psychology. For you, what is it?
It's probably like random crap that I learn on a daily basis.
I thought you were going to go somewhere totally different, but random crap. Okay, wicked.
That's the technical term.
Yeah, that's okay. So, basically anything, you just love it, I'm assuming. Okay. Yeah. And academic proofreading, is this done through the same copywriting company, or is this something totally different?
No, so separate, completely different. I started doing this before the copywriting, and it's the same sort of deal. Like, it's a company that gets clients submitting their work online, but what they needed was an engineering and sciences editor. So they need someone with that technical background, not just English and writing, to be able to go through journals, dissertations, business memos, all that kind of stuff with that technical background to be able to apply that. So I work for them, same sort of thing, freelance, pick up as much or as little as I care to pick up. And then, so it's their company and their work and their clients, but we get to work freelance and bill based on what we do.
Okay. So you've answered a portion, like I've made the connection right now for one of your new careers, but tell me how you go from basically 2 masters in engineering. I mean, you could probably get a job on any F1 team in the world. How do you go from that to what you're doing now? So how do you go from that?
Good question. So there's a few different answers to that. One of them, probably one of the biggest ones that I didn't give any credit to until sort of after parting ways with the company I was working for, was I don't work well for others. I actually probably always had some entrepreneurial blood, because that was always what my dad did. He had his own business, did his own thing. I probably should have recognized that would be something that's in my personality as well.
Save 10 years, right?
So that was like a big part of realizing that I needed to make a different move. The other couple of things that are sort of connected are, I had my dream job, right? I did exactly what I wanted to set out to do, and I was working in a super cool field with amazing people. I had built an incredible team, but I had gotten to a point where I probably couldn't have moved up anymore than where I was, which definitely puts barriers not only in terms of how much you make or your title,
it's stagnant. You're not doing anything, right?
Completely. So I'm a constant learner. I'm a voracious reader. I want to always be challenged. And I had gotten to a point in sort of just the workflow and so on, where it was about 6 months where we really weren't doing anything, and I couldn't do anything to solve that problem.
Okay.
And that wasn't okay with me on an ethical basis. Like, I don't
Yep.
want to just sit on my butt all day and not do anything productive. I want to be challenged and move and grow and do all these amazing things. So I had gotten to a point where I thought, okay, like I've kind of done all I can with this amazing company. I've built this team that can sort of carry on without me. I've set them up to do that.
Yep.
And I think in the process of when you've kind of been in something for a few years, you tend to get a little bit burnt out
Yep.
on that content when you've kind of gone super far into what you were doing, which I had done. I sort of took a step back. And I mean, I also joke about this, but people would always ask me, what the hell do you do? I don't understand this.
Yeah.
So,
you have to get 2 masters to understand exactly what you do.
basically.
Yeah.
But the synopsis is I would make one rich dude go in circles faster than another rich dude while destroying the environment. So I felt like I needed to maybe be doing something that was perhaps a little bit more important.
That's I know the reference, right? So that's awesome that you said that. One rich dude faster than the other. That's great. So tell me, how long have you, I'll call it, been on your own? So how long have you been working for yourself from home and not at your previous career company?
So I quit at the middle of April. So 5 months-ish that I've been out on my own.
Okay. Any regrets?
None.
Okay, perfect.
Mm-hmm.
That falls in line. I used to ask a question like, would you change anything from your past?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to ask that question now because it's too late. And I already asked you the regrets question. So sad, too bad. I do want to ask you, though, because you've got, I kind of open the floor and this is your moment for a plug. And so I want you to plug the bar instructor. So why should someone do bar? So go with that, and then I'm going to ask you a couple more questions. So why should someone do bar?
I think if you're like me and you got super bored of just doing the normal online workouts or going to the gym and creating your own stuff and just lifting weights and running and doing cardio, and you're looking for something that's kind of a little bit more fun, completely different from what you were doing before, I would recommend trying your first class, because a lot of studios are going to offer you the first class for free, or they'll have some sort of intro that means you're not really losing anything.
Okay.
And the other thing I would say is it tends to be more women that take the class than men, but we're not exclusionary. Anybody can take these classes. They're fantastic and challenging.
Okay.
But they're also very safe. So we find we have a lot of pre- and postnatal women that will come into this class and kill it while they're 8 months pregnant, which to me is the most inspiring thing as an instructor, to see that.
Yep.
But I think the other thing is that it's a community, and the women that I work with, for whatever reason, all happen to be very entrepreneurial as well.
Yep.
And so it's just this incredible supportive community that as soon as you walk into the studio, you feel that friendly, supportive vibe. And I would say that, if you're kind of bored or you're looking for a place that feels a little bit nicer when you're doing your workout or meeting new friends or whatever, it's a great place to go.
Can anybody who's watching or sees this material or this interview, can they DM you with questions about bar?
Absolutely. Yeah,
Perfect.
Absolutely.
Okay. Copywriting, is it just for big companies or is it for medium and small companies?
No, and I would say even for myself, I don't even exactly know where I want all of my businesses and things to go, but I would say that even someone as small as myself with few followers or something you're working on should know at least a little bit of how to properly communicate with people so that you're getting your message out there in the most effective way possible.
Okay. When it comes to, I own a business right now and I see that Katie's a copywriter. Can I reach out to Katie directly, or do I have to go to this company first to reach out for a copywriter?
It depends on probably the scope, I would say. So if it's a super big project that I couldn't cover myself or in my spare time away from the company, then it would definitely be better to go through a firm. Okay,
so DM you for copywriting questions too. Right, okay, that's all right. I want to make sure we know this. And as far as academic proofing, is there a particular school that you work with, or is it, again, a company that deals with 10 technical schools, so to speak?
So it's an online platform. It's proofreading.org, and you basically just upload your documents on there, and it's all enclosed. It's awesome.
So students at these engineering schools and whatnot know of that platform and can submit their thesis or research, project, and then you would be I'll just use the term, an instructor on that site that can take that work and proofread it.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
Okay.
And I mean, some things like journal articles and stuff actually require that now, which is really cool. But I wish I knew about that stuff when I was a student.
Yeah. They had that stuff, right? Okay, so we've covered all three. My questions are done, and now it's time for the fun part. I warned you about this. So I am going to do it's my favorite part. I love getting to know people, and I love all that stuff, and I'm going to wave to Eternal Someone, Balance, CLP. I'm going to assume that's one of your followers. We get to do rapid fire, so there's no time limit. It's one-offs. I want you to answer as quickly and honestly as possible. I am going to use some of the previous questions. So are you ready for rapid fire?
Okay.
Yeah. Is Adam away from the camera?
Yes.
I don't want to hear any yelling in the background.
Okay.
Okay. So, Katie, favorite color?
Yellow.
You're random. Okay. White or brown bread?
Oh, white.
Can you eat bread?
No.
So I was like, I asked the question. I'm like, can I share what disease you have? Sorry to interrupt rapid fire. Okay, so you have colitis, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know a little bit about it, and I know you had a bout that's recent, so it's not a fun thing. So, white bread or brown bread is not an appropriate question. So I might add one in on the fly if I can think of it. Coffee or tea?
Tea, for sure.
Butter or margarine?
Butter.
Okay. Favorite soda pop drink?
I love Perrier. Fancy.
It's carbonated. I guess that's part. All right, technical. Okay. Favorite movie?
Beauty and the Beast.
Animated version or like a live Broadway version? Oh, sorry, the original or the one with what's her name, Hermione Granger from?
I cried through both.
Okay, so, all right, so we'll say both. We'll dead even time. Okay. Favorite. So this is awkward because you have colitis. Favorite meal prior to being diagnosed with colitis?
Oh, okay. Definitely schnitzel, crazy rich German food.
Okay. Post colitis, favorite meal. No, current with your colitis. What's your favorite meal?
Current. So, salmon, rice, and roasted Brussels sprouts.
Ooh, Brussels sprouts. Yuck. Okay. I know this. I have two questions written down. One is manual or automatic. I already know the answer. It's manual. And I'm not going to discriminate. So I'll just say, who's your favorite superhero?
Oh.
Because women can have superheroes too.
Probably Wonder Woman.
Okay. First car.
It was a little Dodge SX 2.0.
Dream car.
Dream car. I would say like I already have it. That's corny, but I kind of love my car right now.
All right. What is it?
It's a Camaro SS1LE.
Who sold you your first one? Okay. I didn't sell you anything. You just came in and knew what you wanted, so that was great. I'm not going to discriminate because I wrote these for my first guest, Ian. Favorite major sport that you love?
Well, it has to be racing.
Okay, perfect. F1 or NASCAR?
F1.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Celebrity crush. Adam, plug your ears.
You know what? So I had a celebrity crush until I watched his most recent movie, and then I was like, what the hell? Matt Damon, until that miniature, whatever, that worst movie ever.
Downsize Me or something like Downsize
Worst
Me?
movie ever. Don't watch it.
Hope Matt Damon's not watching. I don't think he is. Okay. What's your zodiac sign?
Pisces.
Okay. What don't people know about Katie?
Oh. What don't they know? They probably, they know the racing part, but maybe some people don't.
Okay.
And what else? I don't know. That's a good question.
I bet you people wouldn't guess that you're really good at go-kart racing and racing in general.
Probably. Yeah.
Well, probably because you're a woman, and I hate to say it, but I've witnessed you racing go-karts, so I know you're
That's
good.
true.
All right. Okay. Last question. Let me think of one real quick here to replace white bread or brown bread. Favorite ice cream?
Ooh, mint chocolate chip.
Oh, good. If you weren't, and this is going to be hard because you've been able to do a couple things. So if you weren't doing what you're doing now, what would you be doing?
In terms of my profession?
Yes. If you weren't doing your bar, your academic proofing, and your copywriting, what would you be doing?
I think I would probably be a teacher of some sort. So whether I had gone on through academia and kind of went that route or taught at a different level, that was always kind of in the back of my head as maybe something I would do.
All right. Well, this concludes our show, Katie. I really want to say thank you for coming on the show. I've known you for a few years now. I don't like your husband, but that's okay. I'm sure he's going to text message me right now because he heard that. But I think what you're doing is great. I see your stuff. I read your posts. I love your brutal honesty on some of your posts because I've learned a couple things about you just from reading that I didn't realize. Some of these relationships you're talking about, I didn't think it was at that state, but it's encouraging, or I don't know what the word, doesn't matter. You're doing a lot of great things, and you're making some choices that are making you better as a human being. So hats off to you. I really appreciate you and everything you do. So I'm going to cut you out here. I'm going to say my goodbye on my interview, and someone just joined me late, so I got to wave, and I'll chat with you later.
Thank you so much, Brandon. Talk to you soon.
All right. Thanks, Katie. Move Katie. All right. So those that are joining in late, you just missed the interview, but you can rewind and watch the live. We're going to end it here. Again, I want to thank Katie Thorndike, formerly Katie Smilowski, for being on the show today, talking about what she does. Anyone looking for copywriting, anyone looking for a different kind of workout, she's a bar instructor in Toronto. And if you go to a technical engineering type school and need some proofreading, I'm going to link the website later on a separate post. But great gal, does a lot of great things. Hit her up on Instagram, and if you like what you see, start a conversation. Thanks for watching. We will see you next week, episode 4, Wednesday, September, whatever date it is. I think it's the 18th or 19th, something like that. 12 plus 7 is 19, so it's September 19th. Next week, we already have our guest listed out. It is Agent Will Ellis. Will Ellis is a real estate agent in the Durham region. I've been watching his account for a while. I've known him for a few years. He's doing a lot of great things, and so we're going to have some fun with him. And I want to thank everyone for tuning in and watching, and we will see you next week. Have a good night.